Alright. Maybe it has something to do with us. It's going to be this equation right here that goes from 0 to 1 for our u. And why would, like, the only thing I can think of is, like, we're outside of the extents, or the extents are wrong for our object. Like, if our bottom left-hand corner was the wrong value, then we would see something like this. Like, I guess if the calculation is correct, then, you know, we're seeing the correct shape, then it's that the input data is wrong somehow. You know, which would mean that there's something wrong with our transform of this box. You know, which would be like this mesh was in the wrong spot or something. You know, like if we move this thing, you know, it's gonna be gone here. Kind of like that. Okay, so regardless, it's that the distance is wrong. But why is the right side, you know, why is one side of this thing screwed up? Like, it looks like it's wrong in every case. Like, it's wrong here too. Well, one of the things that we're doing is we're not transforming everything here, so it could be that we need to transform this a little bit differently. It needs to just do the we want to get the translation or something. We want to make a transform here. Like, I don't want to transform a location, I just want the damn transform. Can I split the structure. Alright, so we have the location, we have the scale, but the rotation we don't necessarily want. This is just ugly. And this, does this have any? Is it negative 90? What about this waterfall blueprint? Okay, it is working at 90. Alright. Well, this is just gonna be me stumbling around in the dark trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing here. See if we can simplify some of this so maybe there's not so much stuff in my face. Alright. Yeah, I'm still stuck on this whole thing. Alright, so this is, we get our world position for our pixel. What exactly am I trying to do? I'm trying to fix this fucking thing. It's not right over on this side when I rotate. It's the same thing we've been working on the whole time. It's the U that's wrong. Alright, so we're going to multiply our basis vector by our world position, which is going to take us into projected space. So we have our position, and we're going to take that position and throw it onto this vector. And that's going to give us a direction. Just throwing it at the origin so that, you know, maybe if anything was going on with it, it would, the origin would at least let us not mess with that. That does look kind of strange. Oh yeah, it's totally screwed up. It's the U is wrong. The U is the X coordinate of the texture is incorrect. It is shifted over to the left for the entire thing. So I'm trying to figure out what the hell is wrong with what we've got. Is it the position in world space of the box that we've got, or is it something else? And I'd like to be able to see the math stuff in here, so I'm going to try to do that. How is this 0? God, none of this crap works. It's a 3-channel vector. Pivot point is at 0. Rotation angle is 45. Like, we're supposed to rotate this thing by 45. The color we should see is yellow. Like, that's the world position. Is definitely true. We rotate the world position 45 degrees along the z-axis. Let's see if this is in radians or not, because the documentation doesn't say. Yeah, that's better. See, it's really important that in the goddamn documentation it actually says if something's degrees or radians, because they are not consistent. This is just frustrating. Even getting a use case here. I wish this editor thing would allow us to actually, you know, use an object, you know, actually rotate the object inside of it as opposed to do that. Can we even do that? Let's see. Rotate object in preview material Unreal. Well, this is just going to be another just Let's Rage and Unreal, and have a whole hell of a lot of problems with something that we probably shouldn't be having a lot of problems with. What I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to make an example. So I'm trying to basically rotate this cube by 45 degrees. I mean, I can't just rotate the damn cube by 45 degrees, which sucks. So I have to, you know, try to make all this stuff by hand, which is just annoying. Oh, Canto 456, we're still doing the same thing. This is a goddamn mess. Yeah, we're doing the same crap. And it's still just as frustrating as ever. And what I'm trying to do now is actually create an example of a rotated object. You'd think this would be simple, but no, it's not. Fuck. Alright, let's just undo all this crap. Come on. Obviously what I need to do is not this stuff. What I need to do is I need to plug in values manually. So let's just plug it in. Let's just get the numbers that we need. So U basis should be 0.707. And our numbers should be for bottom left, zero, 181, and the top right that doesn't make any sense. Bottom left should be negative 181. And this should be 0 and 181. it should go from 1 to 0. But it's not, is it? I think that should be it should go from 0 to 1 on this cube. But this should be like a black line here. So maybe I need to do a different order of operations, like if the bottom left, alright, so that's the x-axis, that's the y-axis. The bottom left is supposed to be negative y? I guess it's supposed to be right there. Look if this cube was rotated 45 degrees, if you're looking at it straight on. You've rekindled your interest in game dev. Oh yeah, with my frustrating banging my head against the wall, not getting anything done. I'm glad. Well, all right. Is there an easier solution to this? Like, what the hell am I doing? Like, there's got to be an easier way to get the percentage along this vector that we are in world space, right? Like, all we need is this corner and that corner, and we just need this was just the y-axis or whatever. the top left and bottom right. Divided by the distance, and the distance is correct. We've got the right distance, but somehow we don't have the right position.
Watch a video and they'll say things, and I'll be like, I understand this. Understand this.
Yeah, that's pretty much true. What I need to do in order to solve this problem is, like, I've been trying to come up with a good example of it. And even the example that I'm plugging in isn't panning out. 707, 707, 181, 128, 181, 128. So we are at negative 181 to positive 181. Okay, so it's 181 to positive 181. And the distance should be 181 goes from yeah, so that's going to be the distance. The distance is going to be 0.7 for it. So let's grab our calculator. So our distance is going to be 255, which this cube is 256 by 256. So that's the correct math that we have for the distance is the top right minus multiplied by 707. So it should go from 0 to 1, and then, yeah. But the question is, why isn't this corner back here also 0? Right, like this should be... It's going to be this position minus... Are we doing the wrong thing here with this subtraction? Because really what we should be doing is, it's going to be our world location minus the bottom left, projected onto this vector. And that's going to give us this vector. We project it down, and then we're going to divide that by the length that we need to go over. And we have the distance there. How do we know if we're to the left of this thing? Well, if we're to the left of this thing, maybe I'm just doing the wrong operation for this thing. So we have a negative dot product. Alright, so that's the distance. And basically what we want is, we only want to take the, and if we subtract these vectors, it's just so difficult to visualize. So we have this position, and we want to take it so this entire row starts at 0. I guess it is this multiply. And that goes from 0 to 1, supposedly. Well, I'm just gonna keep plugging at this until I figure out what the hell I'm doing. Kinda don't really have a choice. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Why is this like that? Like, that's the U, and what's the V look like in this case? 0 to 1. See, that's what's interesting, is that that goes from 0, obviously 0, to obviously 1, and this is not obviously 0, and it should be a straight line, 0, in the back there. It should just be this axis, but it's not. Because these values here are, I mean, if we project first, This doesn't seem... what? Something's wrong. Which part of this is wrong? It's the, this should be black right here. This should be a straight line, black to white. And it should be gray all along this. So why isn't it? So the z is going to be 0 for all of these values. So the distance... So like this value right here is going to be, you know, 0, 181, 128, you know, 0, 181, basically all up and down this. Just going to go from negative to positive. Now, what happens as this thing goes out is that the x and the y are going to be able to both be negative. So the question is, why are these values? So I know what these numbers should be. They should be 128, and they should go basically right here should be negative 181, 0. So if it's negative 181, 0, and we multiply that by 0.7, so we get 126.7, and we've got this bottom left multiplied by that. That's a positive. That's a positive x. So we're going to get so as this x goes out, it's going to be like, you know, negative. It's not negative 181, it's actually 181. So the distance is going to go from 0 to 1 back there. So we need to like invert the x or some shit like that for this thing. So this is going to be negative 126.7. And we're going to be subtracting this. So the distance should just be the distance along this u basis, but the problem is this 128 here is going to be, it should all equal negative 126 along here. So the x needs to be negated. But when I do that, I don't see any difference. Why not? What? What? No, it's not. It's not correct. It's like what we're doing is we're getting the distance from this point to that point right there. We're supposed to have projected this. This is not projecting. All right. So where did we do vector projection stuff? We did it somewhere at one point. When the hell was it? The hell is this operator? Is that a dot product? So they're basically, it's projecting, if you want to project a vector onto something, it's A dotted with itself? So what's going on is we just got the wrong math here. So it's we want to take the world position of our pixel